Gentlemen, let's dive right in. Have you ever found yourself wanting to connect with a woman on a deeper, more intimate level, but you weren't sure how to approach it? What if I told you there's a method to request intimacy that not only works, but also aligns with the timeless principles of Stoicism? Today, we're going to explore a psychological trick that can transform your approach to intimacy, making you more confident, grounded, and in control of your emotions. Picture this. You're sitting across from the woman you've been seeing for a while. The connection between you feels strong, and you're ready to take things to the next level. But instead of feeling confident, anxiety creeps in. What if she says no? What if she pulls away? Here's the thing. Those are the wrong questions. The real question is, how can you use Stoic principles to shift the power dynamic, making her not only comfortable with intimacy, but desiring it just as much as you do? Stick with me for the next few minutes, and by the end of this video, you'll have the tools to request intimacy in a way that's respectful, psychologically savvy, and deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. This isn't your typical dating advice. This is about mastering the art of emotional and psychological connection in a way most men overlook. Let's get started with the psychological trick, the balance of vulnerability and strength. Now, let's discuss the psychological trick itself, balancing vulnerability with strength. This might sound contradictory, but it's actually a powerful dynamic that, when done right, creates a magnetic pull. Vulnerability is often misunderstood. Many equate it with weakness or oversharing. But in reality, vulnerability is about authenticity. It's about being open and honest with your feelings and intentions without coming off as needy or desperate. In the context of Stoicism, vulnerability means showing your true self while maintaining control over your emotions. When you express your desire for intimacy, do it with calmness and clarity. For example, you could say, "I've really enjoyed the time we've spent together, and I feel a strong connection with you. I'd like to take things to a more intimate level because I believe it could deepen our relationship." This statement is powerful for several reasons. First, it's direct and unambiguous. You're not playing games. You're stating your intentions clearly. Second, it's respectful. You're not demanding intimacy or making her feel pressured. You're inviting her to consider it. Third, it's grounded in your belief that intimacy will enhance the relationship, not just fulfill your desires. Why is this balance of vulnerability and strength so effective? It works because it taps into a deep psychological need we all have, the need for connection. When you show vulnerability, you signal that you're open to forming a deeper connection. When you pair that vulnerability with strength, you demonstrate that you're not seeking connection out of desperation or neediness, but from a place of confidence and self-assurance. This dynamic is incredibly attractive because it creates a sense of safety and trust. Women are more likely to respond positively to intimacy when they feel secure in the relationship, knowing that the man they're with is both emotionally available and emotionally stable. Next, let's discuss the Stoic art of patience, letting her set the pace. One of the most powerful aspects of Stoicism is patience. In today's fast-paced world, patience is a rare virtue, but it's incredibly attractive. When requesting intimacy, it's crucial to let the woman set the pace. This doesn't mean becoming passive. Rather, it means remaining engaged, present, and responsive to her cues. Patience in Stoicism isn't about waiting idly. It's about being actively patient, engaging in the process, observing, and understanding the situation without forcing it. When it comes to intimacy, patience means recognizing that everyone has their own timeline and comfort level, and that rushing the process can create unnecessary tension and anxiety. After expressing your desire for intimacy, the next step is to give her space to process and respond. The silence that follows might feel uncomfortable, but it's essential. This silence is where the magic happens. It's a space where she can reflect on her feelings, her desires, and her comfort level. It's in this silence that she can make a decision that feels right for her without feeling pressured or rushed. During this moment, maintain eye contact, stay relaxed, and keep your body language open. Your posture should convey that you're confident and patient, that you're not in a rush to move things forward, but are open to whatever pace feels right for her. This approach not only shows respect, but also creates a safe environment for her to express her feelings. This kind of patience is incredibly powerful because it signals that you're not just interested in physical intimacy, but in building a connection based on mutual respect and understanding. It shows that you value her feelings and boundaries, and that you're willing to wait for the right time, rather than forcing something before she's ready. Moreover, patience is a sign of emotional maturity. It demonstrates that you're in control of your desires, rather than letting them control you. This level of emotional maturity is rare and attractive, as it shows that you're not only capable of handling intimacy, but also the emotional complexities that come with it. Now let's explore the subtle art of suggestion, planting the seed. Here's where the real psychological trick comes into play. Instead of directly asking for intimacy, consider planting a suggestion that encourages her to think about it on her own terms. This technique taps into the power of suggestion, a subtle but effective psychological tool. The power of suggestion is well documented in psychology. It works because it allows the person receiving the suggestion to internalize the idea and make it their own. When you plant a suggestion, you're not imposing your desires on her. You're inviting her to explore the idea in her own mind, at her own pace. You might say something like, "I think being closer to you would feel really natural for us, don't you?" This statement isn't a direct request, but rather a gentle nudge, allowing her to envision the intimacy you're referring to. It's less about convincing and more about inviting her to explore the idea on her own. This approach works because it respects her autonomy and subtly encourages her to see intimacy as a mutual, organic progression, rather than something being imposed on her. But the art of suggestion doesn't stop at planting the seed. It's also about how you nurture it. After making the suggestion, continue to build emotional and physical closeness in subtle ways. For example, you might increase the amount of affectionate touch, like holding her hand or giving her a hug. These small gestures can help create a sense of closeness and comfort, making the idea of intimacy feel more natural and desirable. At the same time, be mindful of her responses. If she seems receptive, continue to build on that momentum. If she seems hesitant, give her more time and space. The key is to remain patient and observant, allowing the idea of intimacy to grow organically rather than forcing it. Next, let's discuss building anticipation, the power of delayed gratification. Another key aspect of Stoicism is the concept of delayed gratification. This is about understanding the value of waiting and the power that comes with it. When it comes to intimacy, rushing the process can often diminish its value and impact. Delayed gratification is the ability to resist the temptation for an immediate reward and wait for a more substantial or meaningful one later. This concept is central to Stoic philosophy and is incredibly relevant in the context of intimacy. Instead of pushing for immediate gratification, consider building anticipation. This doesn't mean playing hard to get or manipulating the situation. It's about deepening the emotional connection so that when intimacy does happen, it's more meaningful and fulfilling for both of you. To build anticipation, focus on creating memorable experiences together that deepen your emotional bond. Engage in activities that bring you closer, whether it's having deep conversations, sharing personal stories, or spending time doing something you both enjoy. These shared experiences create a sense of connection that goes beyond the physical, making the eventual intimacy more powerful and meaningful. Another way to build anticipation is through subtle physical cues. For example, you might increase the amount of physical touch, such as holding hands, giving gentle hugs, or sitting closer together. These small gestures can create a sense of closeness and intimacy without rushing into a full physical relationship. The key to delayed gratification is understanding that the journey is just as important as the destination. By taking the time to build a strong emotional foundation, you create a more fulfilling and meaningful connection. This approach not only enhances the intimacy when it does happen, but also strengthens the overall relationship. Moreover, delayed gratification is a sign of self-control and emotional maturity. It shows that you're capable of waiting for something more meaningful. This level of self-control is incredibly attractive, as it demonstrates that you're not just interested in physical pleasure, but in building a lasting and meaningful connection. Now, let's talk about emotional intelligence, reading her cues, and responding thoughtfully. Emotional intelligence is crucial in any relationship, but it's especially important when navigating intimacy. Stoicism teaches us to be mindful of our own emotions, but it also encourages us to be aware of others' feelings and reactions. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions, as well as the emotions of others. It's about being attuned to the subtle cues that others give off, whether through their body language, tone of voice, or facial expressions. During your interactions, pay close attention to her body language. tone of voice, and the subtle cues she gives off. For example, if she seems hesitant or uncomfortable, acknowledge it and give her the space she needs. This could be as simple as saying, "I noticed you seem a bit unsure. Would you like to talk about what's on your mind?" This approach not only shows that you're attuned to her feelings, but also that you care about her comfort and well-being. It's a way of saying, "I'm here for you, and I want this to be a positive experience for both of us." On the other hand, if she seems receptive and comfortable, continue to build on that positive momentum by gradually increasing physical and emotional closeness. The key is to be responsive to her cues and to adapt your approach based on her comfort level. This level of emotional intelligence is incredibly attractive because it shows that you're not just focused on your own desires, but are genuinely invested in creating a positive and mutually enjoyable experience. Finally, let's wrap up by emphasizing the importance of self-control, a Stoic trait that's highly attractive. At the core of Stoicism is the principle of self-control. Stoics believe in mastering one's emotions and desires, rather than being controlled by them. In the context of intimacy, self-control means being able to manage your desires in a way that's respectful and considerate of your partner's feelings. This doesn't mean suppressing your desires, but rather channeling them in a way that's aligned with your values and the values of the relationship. For example, if you're feeling a strong desire for intimacy, but sense that your partner isn't quite ready, exercising self-control means being able to wait until the timing is right for both of you. This level of self-control is incredibly attractive because it shows that you're not driven solely by your desires, but by a genuine concern for the well-being of the relationship. It also demonstrates a level of emotional maturity that's rare and highly valued in any relationship. So what's the Stoic way to request intimacy? It's about mastering your emotions, being patient, and building a connection based on mutual respect and understanding. By balancing vulnerability with strength, practicing patience, using the power of suggestion, building anticipation, and exercising emotional intelligence and self-control, you can request intimacy in a way that's not only respectful, but also deeply attractive. Remember, the goal isn't just to achieve intimacy, but to build a lasting and meaningful connection that stands the test of time. In conclusion, the Stoic approach to intimacy isn't about using tricks or manipulation. It's about cultivating the qualities that make you a more attractive and desirable partner. By focusing on your own growth and emotional maturity, you can create a connection that's not only fulfilling, but also deeply meaningful. So, the next time you're in a situation where you want to request intimacy, remember these principles and approach the conversation with confidence, respect, and a genuine desire to build a deeper connection. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.